Okay, so we're going to start with the brows. So with this look, we're going to give her like a little bit of a messy brow, not so defined and perfect. So I start with filling out the edges of the brow. Using my Mod 210 angle brush. And then you set it with your mascara wand, just so it will look more like hair, and then will not have lines of the gel liner you just put in. So we'll go straight to defining. We're defining the brows because I don't want to have like very sharp edges, so I'm going to use a foundation shade that is exactly her skin shade. So I just go from bottom very slightly and I just brush out the line. So I'm blending the foundation, I just apply it down there, so because it's going to dry out and we don't want that to happen. It becomes difficult for it to blend out when you want to blend. So it's always better to apply it and blend it out immediately with the same brush you're using to define the brows. So now I'm going to just fill in the eyes with the same shadow, with the same foundation I used to define the brows. So I'll just put it in just to blend out the skin. So now we're going to do shadow. We're just going to use black, a dark shade, to do this. So I'm going to use Mod eyeshadow in Onyx. It's black, it's matte. So this is it. We're going to use black Mod eyeshadow in Onyx. So you observe that I'm not using primer or anything to allow the makeup so the eyes can pop more, because I'm using a dark shade and it's a little bit of a messy eye makeup that I'm doing, so I don't need to use primer. So I just apply this on the eyelid. So you take a smudge brush and then you just smudge the shadows with the same black, just to blend it out into the skin properly. So we highlight the brow bone with a natural shade very close to her skin. So you can decide with this look not to even highlight the brow bone at all, or you can still go ahead and highlight it. Then I'm going to just take a lighter shade of the same shade I used on her lid and just use it to blend out the brow bone, the crease, with my 810 crease brush. So I'm going to take a little bit of my Mod Spanish Gold and put it around the brow bone here to add a little bit of a bronzed feel at the crease. I'm going to line the lower eyes also, and I wing it up. So I'm going to give like a very messy smudged liner here. Then I take my shadow brush again, same one I used, and just smudge it all in. So to prep the face, I'm going to use my NYX Angel Veil Skin Perfect Finish Primer. This is like the best I've seen. Your makeup stays dry, matte, and it doesn't break. So I always use this, and it's good for any skin type. So I'm going to go over the face with my Mod GY2 foundation and just put it in on the skin. Just dab it in. So we're going to go straight to highlighting and contour. I'm using Black Up foundation. This is number 5. So because I want the highlight to be really strong, so I'm using a shade a little bit, maybe 2 shades or 3 shades lighter than her real shade. So we're going to blend all of this in. So I'm using my beauty blender, a little bit wet, so I just blend it all in. So we're going to set it in now with a powder. Also, because I want the highlighting to be very strong, I'm using a lighter shade, Mod Buttercream Banana Powder. So I use Mod DFD1 powder, and I just dab it in. And with my Mod Angled and also a blush brush to use to just properly define the contour like we've used it for the highlighter. Now we can go back to the eyes with lashes. I'm using Beauty Tweet lashes in number 5. So this is the first time I'm using them. Hopefully they are nice. So for that strong, fierce look, the lashes I have is a bit too light, so I'm going to double it on. And I know people will ask, how do you double lashes? But so you can just put them on each other, very close to the lash line on top of the first one you applied, and that's how you apply double lashes. So we're gonna go the bottom lash line and then just add mascaras and make them stronger. So for that stronger look, I'm going to take a brown color shadow and just look up, just put it in here. Then we can go to the lip and just dab it in to define the lip properly. My favorite all-time Mod Sandy Beach lipstick to dab it in We can move on to the other parts of the face, the blush, bronzer, and the rest. I use the Mod bronzer in gingerbread, and then just put it all over the cheekbone, just in between the blush and the highlight, the contour and the highlight. So let's bronze. So I'm a fan of bronzers, so we're going to use a lot of bronzers on our face to add a little bit of glow. With my Mod fan brush, I just apply it on the cheekbone. So I'm done with the blushing, the bronzer, and all of that. So just to add a little bit of flair to the look, I'm putting up single lower lashes. We're just going to open up the tear dots a little bit with a light shade of white shadow, and then just pop on the eyelid.